Okay, she gets that report from the state, I guess the format from the
Yes,
state, and
yeah.
it has to go back. And
Right,
she has to include the figures according to what
right.
the demand is for the state. So, yeah, and it gets convoluted.
Yeah, it does.
That format looks antique.
Oh, from the States? Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And they've updated it like 3 times since
Yes.
I've been paying attention to anything, and it's still lousy, yeah.
I don't see how anyone could figure it out, honestly. Put it in the right place.
Yeah.
One I might have to go into a when we're done, that was the selectmen's budget, but not here. I just didn't have time to look at that.
Okay.
Because the number didn't seem proper to me.
Yeah.
But it could be that other stuff is added in.
Mm-hmm. So dispatch fees, and I think we mentioned this last time, did you ask about it? And if you did, you probably forgot already because that was so long ago. But dispatch fees, we already paid $22,000, almost $23,000, and the budget was $35,000 for the whole year.
Yeah.
And as I understand it, unless it's changed, Hanover bills twice a year, so that's 6 months. Do you know?
Hanover's, yeah. Their yearly ends, is different than,
Fiscal year.
Yeah, it's
yes.
fiscal year.
So we've already made one payment in 23,
Mhm.
so this is payment in 24.
They're 24. Regardless, we budgeted $35,000, we've already paid $23,000 for half of the year. Do you know what's going on? How much of a hit we expect to take? Because they will be asking for more money.
It seems to me I remember $8,000 from last year that I asked Leaf about, do we need to increase this because the town of Hanover is asking for more money? So we increased from what the original amount was to that $35,000. And I was led to believe that that was it, that was all we had to pay. That's why it's at 35.
Right, yeah. I do recall that being something that was talked about at the budget hearing, and the budget committee pushed to have that increased because it was appearing to be far too low to cover the bill. And it looks like it's still gonna be the case. Is there any way you can find out what, or at least have a discussion with the selectmen, because, I mean, where are you gonna get the money from? Where does that come, gonna come from contingency? Is there enough there? What do you?
There's only 3,000.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, what is there, there's about 12,000, a little over 12,000 left. And something for us to keep tabs on for next year, that we make sure that we put enough in there.
I know what the final bill was.
Yeah. And I know it was back when I was still a selectman that they changed their billing system. And that's where we decided to put it under the selectmen's budget rather than try to split it out to all 3 departments, because it was just too much of a headache. I know Russell was just spending far too much time ciphering all that.
Right. I believe that 24 that you see there is the second half of what it's called.
Are you saying that they do things fiscally? Okay. So, that's kind of weird, huh?
They bill
It
twice a
is.
year though, so when did we pay them?
But, so, they're done with their year in July, or
Right.
at the end of June.
End of June, yeah.
And
June
we're-
to July to June is their fiscal.
See, so we've already paid last year,
Yeah,
and this,
last year and this year are the year for them, and we're in another half of a year.
working to change the whole system over. Because it's still,
Again?
yes,
Okay, so we paid dispatch fees January 26th, Town of Hanover, and it says fiscal year 24 annual, January through June dispatch. So we should get another bill.
but we won't get it until the first of the year.
Should we get it in July?
I'm fairly certain if we go back and look at years past, it's twice a year billing. I'm fairly certain. Not 100%.
Yeah. 'Cause
That kind of detail's not in here, just as it doesn't say when it was paid, so. But last year was 34,119, which would make sense that you bumped it up to 35 for this year. Continue, I'm sorry,
Yeah, because only that's working for 6 month payment.
that's what it looks like to me. It looks, I would
So a
expect,
lot
I would
of-
expect a bill in July if I saw that.
so a lot of that is based on, calls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why Russell was always willing to do the math on it, because most of them are police calls. Far more than fire or ambulance, so. Okay. Got a couple of them getting close to 60% when we're halfway through the year. I don't know how much we want to be concerned with general government buildings.
And Sarah did say that outside of budget season, she only updates, or inputs, I should say, once a month. And as we approach budget season, she does it more often. So if you look at some of the transaction detail in the entries, like some do go up to June, others are May.
What? Every single week when she's cutting checks, this gets updated.
Right.
Oh, it does?
Yes,
It had better.
With checks, check entries,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Okay.
So what else is she doing? Oh, the debit card?
Well, I don't know, what else?
When the budget committee says we need the transaction detail for the first 6 months of the year, we don't mean what she's found time to enter. We mean we need to know what's going on.
That's what she,
Can you find out for us, please, Ed?
yes.
Thank you. Well, then, I mean, why should we even waste our time? Why waste the printer and then our time if we don't even know what we're looking at is like current numbers?
I believe they are current numbers.
I mean, it is possible that for some of these, like printing 322, that was the last entry.
Oh, sure, under financial information, because that's the town report, absolutely, yeah.
Would it be helpful if you asked her to come to a meeting and explain how things go?
I did ask her. And I think she felt a little hesitant that she wouldn't explain things as well as.
All right.
So. She was there when I asked her,
Yes, but I had different things going
Yeah, I
on.
know.
and,
not really paying attention.
no.
Okay, let's chill. What else do we have in here?
So I just mentioned general government buildings is at 59%. But I know that they had a new maintenance man, and so he's probably once again doing a catch-up thing, and we did a lot of work on the pole barn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was in here, that was an entry for that.
Is that kind of the gist of what's going on with general government buildings being over 50% of the budget at this point in time, or is there?
I don't think the amount of work that he's done has been any large.
Well, and if you look at general government buildings broken down line by line, equipment maintenance repairs is at 53%, heating fuel, well, we know that's gonna slack off for the summer, but that's at almost 60%. Mowing and trash removal is at 60%. Did somebody bid too high for what was budgeted? Phone, fax, internet's at 82% of what was budgeted. Security, 88% of what was budgeted. Although most of that's an annual contract, so that's probably not a problem. And then supplies at 50, almost 59%. And then legal,
The different lawyers going on there.
yeah. Anything you can share with us regarding legal fees being,
Not really. There is a number of cases pending.
okay. Can you say how many? Or you don't know? A few?
At least three.
At least three.
Four.
Cross that bridge.
Yep, or else at three.
Is one of those including the poles, the utility stuff? Okay. That's just gonna be like eternal, isn't it? It feels like that utility thing is never ever gonna be settled.
It will be.
Seems like it's been going on forever.
It's nearing its end.
The only other one that was over was solid waste, and that's not by a lot either. Did you look at the wages?
Did you have that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so she gave me a couple of different reports. What she said is, this is if you want it by department, like how much more paper we're actually wasting. And this provides the detail, which includes like the exemptions, not the exemptions, but the, what am I thinking of?
Oh,
Taxes and
where everything
all
that's
the
deducted from
deductions.
their gross
Right,
pay.
exactly. So this is what that report would look like.
Ooh.
Because she said she couldn't separate it out from the department or something. I don't know. But anyway, so that's one thing. This is the other item that she provided. Another item, another method of doing it would be, you ready for this one? So it goes this way. So, yeah, it's, I don't know. So you have to go this way with all of these sheets.
Oh my
in order
goodness, so there's no good way to do it, basically.
No.
I don't hate what she did give us. My problem is that all the column headings are cut off. So if you look across, it says cemet, which I can guess cemetery, checkle, checklist, okay, execute, nothing else, and then the next line is executive wages, fully, like that column's big enough you can read it all. And then we have finance, highway overtime, highway something else. It's, you know, I like that it's compact, but it's too compacted. I mean, I can assume there's regular wages and overtime wages, like, yeah, even police has like 4 different columns. see it or no? You don't have to. Oh, so this says everybody alphabetical, which is just what this is, and you just have to go through and.
That's too complex, and too many pages.
Yeah.
This one.
Both of those, and this is in the summer.
It would be perfect if we knew what the column headings were, if she could do wraparound text or something, or.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy.
And she was nice enough to put those, to show us what it would look like.
Anything else with budgets?
You saw this, the accounts, and what Tammy did, excuse me. She was Tammy to me, but anyway. She gave us the report similar to what, I think Doug had done for the first quarter or year end, I can't remember which. And then Sarah gave me this from the dashboard, from the checking accounts. So, and that's what Cammy also included here. There should be other sheets.
So, it's interesting that these numbers don't jive with what Sarah gave us for the revolving accounts.
Exactly.
Yeah, here they are,
Oh, yeah.
138, that's the ambulance revolving account.
Yeah.
23 solid waste, recreation, 6673, and police 5127.
That's what she gave you today, but that's not what was included in the transaction details.
Oh, this is as of Thursday, or Tuesday, June 25th.
Right, yeah. I think the transaction report,
Does not have a balance on it.
it does.
It does, the ending balance, it shows 11,481.
No, what that is simply the transactions for the month. I asked her about balances. I asked her about balances, and she gave me this instead.
And maybe it would be worthwhile for her to sit down here with us all, so we could explain to her what information we need and why we need it. I'm just spitballing here, I don't know, because I feel like if she knew what we needed, she wouldn't have wasted so much paper giving us what we don't need or what's lacking what we need. But I'll give it a shot when I sit down with her. I don't
She
know.
should feel comfortable if you're telling her what you want, she doesn't have to answer a lot of questions. She doesn't want to come if you didn't want to have to answer a lot of questions, so if she came and you told her what you wanted.
So it's interesting that once again, the treasurer gave us something that says debit card account with a total, and then in parentheses, it says should be $5,000 when used properly. But that's not what the number is.
Tammy did say that she does not like this report.
Oh, good, so she'll change
So
it.
she could do something a little more involved. I said I would show this to everybody, and if the determination was made that we wanted something different, she would do it for us. She was very cooperative.
She is.
Yes, but the transaction report that was given to the department heads is different than what shows there.
Yeah, you're talking about that transaction detail, correct?
You do not get like the recreation got their own sheet. with their revolving account. Their revolving account and the money that's in it is so different than what is in this.
Oh, so there's a third set of numbers.
It'd be interesting to see what that looks like.
So nothing
But
we got is
when was
accurate.
that report as of,
Next year.
This week,
Yeah.
this week? This was as of Tuesday, 6/25.
that's this week.
It is?
No,
Alright,
today's
so- No, she's talking June,
Yeah.
June 25th.
Yeah,
Today's July 10th.
right.
So there would be possible discrepancies between dates if you've written out checks or whatever.
how often do you get that, monthly or quarterly?
monthly.
Monthly.
And
Monthly
is it from
you
the
get-
beginning to the end of the month? Like the
Yeah.
1st to the 30th or 31st? Okay. So this is as of June 25th.
My thing being is the report that we received for the recycling center shows less money than what this is showing.
Well, there could have been another check that came in. If you got a report that was to June 30th, but this is June 25th, if a check came in after, like a
But-
day or two later, it
but
would
the-
still show up on the end of month statement, but not here.
No.
I'd like to see your report.
Yes.
I mean, it's fluid, you know, it's not stagnant. A revolving account isn't stagnant. I'm not arguing with you, I'm just, you
No,
know,
I
throwing out
understand.
possibilities.
But when you know what comes in and what goes into it, yeah.
This is right from the bank. This is the dashboard from the bank,
Yeah.
just so you know. There's been no tampering with those figures.
I like those figures better than the figures
So
in
what
there.
you got?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, because you probably wrote out a check for American Thunder, right?
Great.
Yes. But, all right,
Didn't that show here? I thought that did.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
all right. The check to American Thunder was $6,000.
I know. Mhm,
All right,
mhm.
my report that we received, which follows this, says that they only have $4,000. There's been no checks written,
What can I say?
and it shows what money came in. So I know what money came in shows on there, and there's been no additional money. That's my thing.
6/12, it shows the check was written.
Right.
The check was written on that day,
Yeah.
so did it clear the bank?
Good call. Good call. It could have taken them weeks to,
No, it's,
especially when the US Postal Service, good Lord, could have been forever. Might not even got there yet.
no, it's cleared the bank and everything else. Because I can take and tell you by, and the amount of money that was in the account and what it's stating now. And then when I look at that, it's like, whoa.
So on the library revolving account, they have nobody to answer to but the library trustees for what they spend, right? Whatever they choose to do. Because I noticed in the library budget detail, there were some transfer of funds.
Yeah, one was an error. And there are other expenses, Karen told me that, she hasn't submitted yet, she has receipts for.
Maybe what we need to do is draft a letter before the next time we meet to everybody and say, we're meeting on this date and we need actual real numbers as of the end of the quarter. Think that's worthwhile? Yeah. Ed, what's going on with the capital improvement plan committee?
No idea. It's not part of it.
Which brings us to me. Okay, so I did go to the meeting, and Maureen did as well. And essentially, I think Catherine asked who was on the committee, the capital improvement committee.
Yes.
Well, Paul Lavelier, is that how you say his
Yeah.
last name? Sabrina from planning,
Right.
Heather Hunter, Jeannie Mitchell was not there that night, and Leaf was there with Sarah. That was it, right?
One
Yeah,
more,
I think
one
so.
more, Alice Roy
Oh,
was also.
she was
wasn't
absent.
there.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, Alice Roy. So basically, this was a housekeeping meeting where Sarah filled them in because apparently she went to training in Concord, I guess, regarding what they were supposed to be doing. So there were a lot of questions that were asked, just general housekeeping types of things, and so they're planning on meeting. And what Sarah explained the process to be was that they would meet with departments to figure out what exactly the departments needed going forward, and develop a plan and present it to the select board. However,
Presented to whom?
to the select board.
How is it that we've separated this all away from the planning board?
Because it's not the responsibility really of a planning board, and the Warren article said that the select board,
Oh, because
Would
they've
be
superseded the planning boards.
yeah.
Because, I mean,
Because the planning-
statutorily, it was the function of the planning board to have a long-term. But there are planning boards and planning boards, so then.
So, where was I?
That they would present the plan to the select board.
Yes. My comment to them was, well, what about the budget committee? And it clearly states in the rules that, obviously we should be involved in not necessarily representation, but with what their proposal is, what their plan is.
But this is Grafton, nobody follows the rules.
And let's see, there was something I had read about.
Well, I would have thought that the laying of the board was self-explanatory. Capital improvement. Does anyone come up with some capital to improve? I mean, we have some serious problems in this town.
And this capital improvement plan is supposed to be tied to the master plan, but that dates back to, what, 1988?
Well, yes, is somebody doing something about the master plan?
That's the planning board, right?
That's what now, 40+ years old.
Yeah. So that was basically it. It was just really a housekeeping type of meeting, and anything else to add?
Oh, lots, but I'm not adding anything.
Thanks, Sandy.
So I think, though, that because they were not including us, that there should really be a collaboration with the capital improvement committee. And I would like to see Paul come to one of our meetings to give us an update on,
I think once they get going,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happen.
right.
I
And
think that's a good idea. I would agree with that. How about you, Catherine?
Hmm?
Sandy said that she would like to see us collaborate with the capital improvement plan.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.